Wow, everybody. This is Thrive and Survive, Richard Hopkins, talking at the conference, the American conference, last weekend, and I'm amazed. He mentions people, well, he mentions our group, and he mentions a few people in the group. So I just want to say thank you so much, Rich, for the shout out, and I'm shouting it back because obviously you're the one saying it, and I'm making this little video just to show that you did talk about our group and some of the people who come on our group. Thank you so much, Rich, and see you next week. Rich is coming on the panel next week. Anyway, just play the video now. Thank you.
High-tech presentation for you, and I got on the plane and rewrote my whole thing. So the reason for that is I think we've come to a part where we have to realize that you guys in the audience are the next phase of this movement, if that's what you want to call it. There's been, a few dozen people, generally speaking, who have been online, YouTube, Facebook, whatever, who have done videos and some work and things like that. But for the most part, we're individuals working separately. And if anybody has ever been, for example, in a business or other group session where you get 4 or 5 or even more people together, or even just 2, and you go back and forth with different ideas and brainstorming and things like that, you suddenly become geniuses, where nobody in the whole group by themselves would be a genius by themselves. And I don't think any of us are geniuses either. We just decided to look. So I think to keep this going, I think a lot of people can probably realize we're in sort of a transitional phase here where the brand newness of the whole flat earth idea is not quite as fresh and that new car smell anymore. So to keep it going and to expand it out into the rest of the universe of the earth is to get people like you to get together, and I think we need to have somebody come up with some sort of repository or depository where everybody can put their evidences, their empirical evidences together so that it stacks up as high as a mountain so that anybody anywhere who sees it can, come to the conclusion that you have. There's nothing better than bringing people to the truth. Nothing. And that's why we're so passionate about it. So what I wanted to do is I'm going to go over a whole bunch of different empirical evidences that I and others have come up with in the last couple of years. I want to start with, for the people that are not familiar with me, how I got into believing that the earth was flat, and just go from there and give you some ideas of out-of-the-box thinking that I'm talking about that will come together if you get together as a group of people to do this. And maybe those of us who have been doing this online or whatever, we can find ways to get together and have group conversations to come up with more. Now, recently, I've been involved with a group on YouTube called the Sun and Moon Group. It's very small. There's only a couple thousand people that are subscribed to it. But there's some real genius in the group and what comes together when people combine their forces together. So that's the sort of the idea. But I couldn't come up with anything else, and trust me, I was trying to come up with something else that could explain it. It took me a long time to build up 2,500 subscribers on my channel into the prepping movement and things like that. And I knew this would, if I announced this, I was rapidly going to lose probably most of them, and I have. As far as I know, they're all gone. Maybe 2 or 3 are there from the very beginning. In fact, the very first thing was, Rich, you better drop this because people are going to lose confidence in you. And my thing is, I got to go with the truth wherever it takes me. And that's just the way it is. Now, unfortunately, I'm a little ashamed that I didn't come to Flat Earth through the Bible, because I thought I really knew the line there is. If anybody has any doubts, go to Joshua 10 and read there and see that the sun stood still and the moon stood still. And with both of them standing still, you can't have a Gil Prasad theory that God somehow caused Nibiru to pull the earth down 20 degrees or 30 degrees so that Israel would have a longer day. I'm sorry, but the moon would not stand still in that case. The moon is supposedly rotating around us, correct? So even that has a lot of flaws to it. What that means is that we're getting into electromagnetics, dielectrics, and different things like that. They explain so much, and one of the people that really is doing a great job with that, I've done 2 parts so far, I got to finish it on my channel, is a guy named Chris Monk-Seeley, who has come up with so much empirical evidence from the last eclipse. He's the one that discovered that there was nothing in front of the moon. In front of the sun. There was no moon there that blocked it. Mike Helmick, Helmick, I think is how it's spelled. Check his channel out if you haven't seen his channel. He does a great job showing through colors and different things like that, light spectrums, that the moon was not in front of the sun. It simply was not there. What blocked it is a deep story that I won't get into. So let's get into some of the empirical evidence we have looked at since I've gotten into it anyway.